Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Goodwood Festival after an absolutely excellent day 1 from our man Jake Johns. Not only did he find a 5-2 winner and an 8-1 second, he found a 16-1 winner in his first video, which I'm sure that you'll be all very pleased about. I told you at the end of the last video that this man's going to make you some money. That's exactly what he's done. So let's move on to day 2, which of course is highlighted by the Sussex Stakes. Without any further ado, Jake, let's crack on with day 2.
Yeah, it all ended really well, didn't it?
Really
It
did.
ended pretty well. It started off a bit like, what's going on here? I usually do really well on day 1 of karting on festivals, but not today. But well, ended up brilliantly, in fact. First and second in the old summer stakes. But yeah, we'll go on to day 2. I've got some huge prices here as well.
Here we go.
The 2 o'clock is the opener. It's an even tougher, if anything, opener than the today's one. It's 20 horses, 2 mile 5 contest, absolutely marathon, the biggest, longest trip you can pretty much get, same distance as the Ascot Stakes, pretty much, absolute lung buster. One I like, an absolutely huge price, is Albahar, trained by Chris Gordon, who actually has a pretty good record at Goodwood for someone like him. He was progressing nicely before he disappointed at Newcastle recently, but I've seen lots and lots of horses disappoint at Newcastle and that form hasn't stacked up, or horses that have won at Newcastle and that form hasn't really shown that much. So Newcastle's a really new all-weather track, and I'm just not ready to trust the form yet. He could have just not acted there. It might just be a bit weird, and he just might not have acted there. But before that, he beat some really, really tough high-class hurdlers in a flat race at Goodwood at over 2 miles, namely Raven Black, who's a Grade 2 winner at Wincanton, and Wolf of Windlesham, who won the Bet365 5 Juvenile Hurdle at Sandown. So they're 2 really good hurdlers, and he beat them comprehensively by over 4 lengths at Goodwood. He's also run really well here on all of his previous starts, so you know that he acts on the track, of course, because he's got that win. And the weather forecast is a bit odd tomorrow morning. It's changing slightly, but they're still saying there's going to be a little bit of rain, or maybe a little bit more than a bit of rain. So it's important he does act with cut in the ground. I mean, he's not. I think he would prefer it good, but he's okay on good to soft, and he will act on with a little bit of cut in the ground.
Further positive.
Another positive. So that's 25-1, massive price. That's what it was when I tipped it. I don't know what it is now. I think it's going to be 25-1. But anyway, I tipped Elway for the last race today, and that was 14-1, 25-1 this morning. But Teak, another 25-1 shot. That's my second pick in this race. Trained by Ian Williams, who's not had a winner in a while, but his horses are running okay at the moment, running into places and stuff. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. He's been tried at 3 miles recently, last couple of times. Hasn't really done that well, but he's been tried at 3 miles before that as well, and he has never done very well. So I mean, that he probably just doesn't say the distance. That's most likely. He's getting on now, but I mean, if he can find some of his old course form, because he's got some fantastic course stats around here, he won't want too much rain at all. That's a bit of a problem, but he might do okay with a bit of juicy. I don't think he'd want it rock solid either, like it is today. So maybe a little bit of rain might help him, just to make it good ground. He wouldn't want lots and lots of rain. He's one of the few that absolutely definitely stays the trip, because you don't get many flat horses that races over 2 miles.
And a race as long as this. That's
exactly.
Really important.
So because he won this race in 2014. He was staying on 5th in this last year. So he obviously, Ian Williams is getting him ready for this race every single year. He nearly always produces his best flat form at Goodwood. I could definitely envisage him at least running into a place, and I think 25-1 is an absolutely huge price for both of those. So that's Albahar 25-1 and Teak 25-1 in the opener at Goodwood.
Both of those each way, remember?
Oh yeah, of course, each way as well. But the next one is the Gordon Stakes. This features Ulysses, so I tipped the Derby, and I was really keen on it, and he was absolutely awful. Absolutely
He was
terrible.
saving himself for the Gordon Stakes.
He was absolutely awful. No, he wasn't. He's unbelievably well bred out of Galileo. By Galileo, and out of an Oaks winner. You couldn't be more suited to the Derby, but rubbish. He was rubbish, and he's favourite for this, probably because of his breeding. He absolutely hacked up on him in a maiden at Newbury, but I just can't have him on that Derby run. He's trained by Michael Stout as well, which obviously is going to be a short price, but I just don't on that Derby run, on that form, nowhere near good enough. And the form that Newbury Maiden isn't working out very well either, so I'm going to leave him alone. He could win, obviously he's got the best breeding ever, but Stout also has another horse in here, Platitude. And Platitude and Harrison were, when I wrote these tips, they were miles apart in the betting. I mean, Platitude was about 4-1, Harrison was about 9 or 10-1. And Platitude only beat Harrison by a short head at Newmarket, and Harrison has won at the track, so I don't know why those two are too different, but I'm not going for either of them anyway. I'm going for Qatari Hunter, trained by the rejuvenated Jim Bolger, who had a poor start to the season, but is absolutely... They're all of his yard are flying in at the moment. They're running really well. He's unbeaten in handicaps. He's massively improved from his first run of the season, where he lost to Harzand. He obviously went on to win the Derby.
Yeah.
But he's massively improving. I think the step up and trip will actually suit him better. So there could even be more to come. I think he's unexposed at this trip, and yeah, I think he's got stamina in his family, so I think he could run really well, and he's quite a big price at 7-1, but he might get backed by the old Irish because he's been doing well over there in handicaps.
But currently, best price 7-1 on easyodds.com.
And just go each way. I mean, that's fine. It's over 8 runners, 7-1 each way. Nothing wrong with that. He's almost definitely going to place. I think.
Yep.
I think anyway.
Next up is the big one, Jake.
Next up is the big one, the biggest race of the week, £1 million prize fund, the Sussex Stakes. Some classic races through the years. Frankel versus. Who did Frankel race against? I can't remember. Anyway, Frankel,
it was classic.
It was absolutely classic. Yeah, Frankel won here. It was like unbelievable. And then there's always billed as a kind of a duel on the downs between two horses. This year they've got Galileo Gold and the Gurkha, but because they've kind of been battling against each other in quite a few races recently. But one I actually quite like, who I tipped Royal Ascot, is Ortad.
Okay.
For Kevin Prendergast. I think he's just overpriced at 7-1. I think people were pigeonholing him too much as a soft ground horse, needs absolutely bottomless ground. I mean, he obviously acts on that kind of ground, but Chris Hayes, who's the jockey, has been banging on how he's going to be better on good ground.
Yep.
And also, it's going to rain tomorrow morning anyway, so it's not going to be rock solid, hopefully. He'll have a bit of juice in the ground, which I think he'll like. I think he likes juice, but I don't know if he wants it absolutely bottomless, like some people say.
Yeah.
The ground at Ascot was horrible and sticky, and I think it was like one of the excuses for him not winning was that he was the ground. It was soft ground Ascot, and it was soft ground when he won the Irish 1,000 guineas, but it was a different kind of soft ground. So Ascot was really sticky and horrible. I think he's going to go pretty well. He comprehensively beat Galileo Gold in the Irish 2,000 guineas. Galileo Gold ran into a bit of trouble that day, but he never would have beaten him anyway. He had loads in hand at the end. He's had a nice break after Ascot. I think it's just not. I just think he's overpriced at 7-1. To be honest, that's just
7-1.
My opinion.
And that's to win.
To win. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. 7-1 to win. Next up is the last race I'll be covering of the day. It is the 345 Molecombe Stakes, run over Fast and Furious 5 furlongs. Anne Duffield has had a couple of winners this week, and she enters Rainbow Mist, who is third behind the Norfolk winner Prince of Lear at Beverley, and then improved the win next time, so he's got a chance. I prefer the second at Beverley that day, The Last Lion, trained by Mark Johnston, who's an absolute beast at this festival, Glorious Goodwood. He was quite comfortably ahead of Rainbow Mist that day. Obviously, Rainbow Mist has improved since then, but Last Lion has, if anything, improved even more. He was second in the Norfolk, massive run. He then improved again next time to win a listed race at Sandown. He goes on all ground because that Beverley run was on good to firm. The last time it was on soft, and Ascot it was at soft. I think it's probably going to be. Hopefully, it'll be about for these tips, all of them, other than teak. I'm thinking hoping it will just be good with a little bit of juice in the ground.
Yeah.
I don't want
a bit of morning rain.
Yeah, a little tiny bit of morning rain, just a little bit of juice, not like rock solid would be a bit not what I really want. But yeah, The Last Lion. 10-3. I think that's all right price. He's favourite at the moment, but Mark Johnson is really good with obviously at this festival. He's really good with 2-year-olds. I just think he's got a great chance. He's got favourite chance. He might be a little bit short than that, to be honest, tomorrow, I reckon. So yeah, Last Lion 10-3 is what I'm going for.
Excellent. So there's more tips there for 4 of the main races, all live on Channel 4, of course. And if you want to get the best way to get these tips, I advise you getting the Goodwood app, which is available via iOS and by Android. Jake will be offering his tips for each day, as well.
I've just remembered who Frankel was against. Canford Cliffs.
There it is.
How did I forget? Beat Goldacova. Absolute moron.
As well as Jake's daily tips coming straight to you just by pressing the app button on your phone. you'll also get, personally, my favourite article in the whole app, the dress code for to Glorious Goodwood. So if you're going and you want someone to dress you, Jake's your man. As well as earning you lots and lots of money, of course. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Ross Casey for easyodds.com alongside Jake Johns. And don't forget to press the subscribe button.
Sorry, I'll quickly run through the tips quickly.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sorry.
Let's do it.
Albahar and Teak, both at 25 to 1 in the 2 o'clock. Qatari Hunter in the 2:35 in the Gordon. The last line in the 3... Oh, no. Ortard in the Sussex Stakes, and the last line in the 3:45 at Goodwood.
Some big prices there, of course, including the 7 to 1 to win bet in the Sussex Stakes from our man Jake Johns. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to press the subscribe button in the bottom of the corner to get our daily tips for the rest of the week from this man at Glorious Goodwood, as well as my Premier League preview, which is coming up this week if you're a football betting man. So thanks very much for watching. We've been easyodds.com.